Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the test discussion of All India Open Online Prelims Mock Test brought to you by Neo IAS. The topic we will be discussing is regarding iron fertilization. The question is as follows. With reference to iron fertilization, which is recently seen in news, which of the following statement is correct? So let's discuss first about iron fertilization and then you please try to solve the question. Iron is a very important micronutrient which is required for every living organism in the earth to survive. Even phytoplanktons require iron in order to bring up their growth and photosynthesis. So ocean gets iron mainly from dust storms and waste of whale. But recently researchers has proved that the iron content in ocean is decreasing. So in order to stimulate phytoplankton growth, the scientist is planning to fertilize ocean areas which are deficient of iron. So simply iron fertilization means intentional introduction of iron finds into iron poor areas of ocean in order to stimulate phytoplankton growth. What is the purpose of stimulating phytoplankton growth? There are two main advantages of improving phytoplankton growth. One is it will help to improve the fish population, and the second is it helps in carbon sequestration. But it has a negative effect. It is nothing but algal bloom, which affects fish as well as birds. So we came across two terms. One is carbon sequestration and the other is algal bloom. What is carbon sequestration? Carbon sequestration is nothing but process of removal and storing of atmospheric oxygen in sinks like forest, soil, ocean, etc. So this can be done both in it is done both naturally as well as artificially. Naturally, the carbon sequestration are of many types. One is terrestrial carbon sequestration, in which the carbon is stored as wood or plants. Forest, agricultural land, etc. are example of terrestrial carbon sequestration. And then we have a geological carbon sequestration, in which carbon is stored in the form of coal, petroleum, shale gas, etc. And we have ocean carbon sequestration, in which phytoplanktons absorb the carbon and releases oxygen. And finally, we have the largest carbon sink, that is soil. Carbon is sequestrated in the oil in the form of organic content. It is the largest carbon sink. So, carbon sequestration is nothing but the process of containing carbon from atmosphere to some other place, like forest, ocean, etc. Algal bloom. When the ocean is supplied with higher nutrient content, it is utilized by algae to overpopulate the area. When they overpopulate, it absorbs all the available oxygen, and its population will become so enormous. And it also produces a kind of toxin which affects fish and other form of aquatic animals. And also when they die, they utilize all the available oxygen and for their decomposition, and thus they make that part of water body a dead zone. That is, there will be no oxygen available for the aquatic community. So iron fertilization may cause algal bloom. So hope now you can answer the question. The topic we will be discussing is regarding lithium-ion battery. The question asks three things. One is the battery can be used only in mobile phone and small devices. Second is it cannot be used in space. Third is it has an advantage of it is advantages that it is environmental friendly. So let's see what all the statements are right. So lithium-ion battery. Lithium-ion battery is first developed by Sir G.N. Lewis in the year 1912, but it came into rampant use only by 1970s. It is a rechargeable battery which is used in almost every electronic goods. The advantage of lithium-ion battery is that they have high power to weight ratio, they have no memory effect, and the loss of charge when it is not used is very much less. So, but lithium-ion battery has certain disadvantages too. It may cause safety or environmental hazard, as the materials used inside lithium-ion battery is toxic in nature. Also, the electrolyte used is highly pressurized inside the battery, so it may explode under certain circumstances. That is why you can see in news that some low-cost mobile phones get exploded when it is overcharged. So ISRO is using this lithium-ion battery to power its satellites. Recently, ISRO has signed an agreement with uh, Bharat Heavy Electricals to transfer the technology they use in order to make it available for the public. So lithium-ion battery can be used in powering vehicles or powering a home, a house, a village, etc. That's all. Hope now you can answer the question. The topic we will be discussing is regarding potassium bromide and potassium iodide. Here is the question. So before answering that, let's discuss what it is all about. And finally, you can answer the question. So recently, FSSAI has asked the food manufacturers not to use potassium bromide as an additive in food. So what is it used for? It is used mainly in bread making. As it is a good oxidizing agent, it gives puffiness to the bread. But it is banned in many Western countries. Even World Health Organization has added potassium bromide in the list of chemicals causing cancer. Studies show that use of potassium bromide is very much high all over India, which is a serious health concern. Another chemical which is equally harmful to human health is potassium iodide. It is used as a floor treatment agent. It is banned in many Western countries because of the fear that higher intake of iodine both causes thyroid disorder, hypo and hyperthyroid status in humans as well as thyroid cancer. So we can conclude that both chemicals can cause cancer. So it cannot be used in food. So hope now you can answer the question. So as FSSAI has put such a recommendation, we should know about FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. FSSAI. It is an independent statutory body established under Food Safety and Standard Act of 2006. It is established in order to bring a science-based standards for articles based on foods and also to make food safe and accessible to everyone. It is also intended to bring a single reference point for all food related and food standard related things. It is established under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it has a chairman who is appointed by government, and he is a secretary to Government of India. The topic we will be discussing is regarding Pratyush. So the question says three things here. One is it is India's fastest supercomputer. It is the world's fourth fastest supercomputer, and it will help India in weather and climate forecasting, climate research. So let's study more about it. Pratyush. Pratyush is India's fastest supercomputer which delivers a power of 6.8 petaflops. It is also 30th fastest supercomputer on the top 500 list. It ranks 4th among weather forecasting and weather research satellites after UK, USA and Japan. The supercomputer Pratyush will be placed in Aiopmt Pune and National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting. So these are the fastest supercomputers in the world from the top 500 list. The fastest supercomputer is Sunway Taihu Light of China. The second fastest is Tianhe 2, that also of China. The third fastest is Piz-Daint of Switzerland. And the fourth is Gyoku of Japan. And the fifth is Titan of United States of America. So what is to be noted here is Pratyush is not the fourth fastest supercomputer in the world. Yes, it is the fourth fastest supercomputer dedicated to weather forecasting and research. But it is not the fourth fastest supercomputer. But it is the 30th fastest supercomputer according to top 500. The topic we will be discussing is regarding tetanus. Please see the question. In the question it asks three statements. One is whether it is a bacterial disease. Next is vaccines are available or not. And its source of diseases. So let's study more about the disease and please try to solve the question. Tetanus is also called lockjaw. It is caused by a bacteria a bacteria called Clostridium tetani. The bacteria produces a toxin which affects our brain and nervous system, leading to stiffness in the muscles. So it is mainly caused from wounds from infected areas like soil, manures, roads, etc. So the bacteria is present in these areas like soil and manure. So the tetanus can be treated, but the best way to treat tetanus is by taking vaccines. So vaccines are available for tetanus. The symptoms of tetanus include diarrhea, fever and headache. So we can conclude that tetanus is caused from wounds, which is mainly caused from infected areas like soil or manures. So the nature of disease is very much important for UPSC. So we have listed for you some of the important diseases which is often seen in news and which is a high probable topic for the prelims. So first we will discuss two parasitic diseases. One is avian influenza. It is a pathogenic disease. It is also called H5N1 and H5N8. It is seen in birds. Another one is Kala Azar. Kala Azar is also called black fever. So it is a parasitic disease caused by the infection due to a parasitic agent called Leishmania donovani. It is transmitted by sandfly. It affects liver, spleen, bones, etc. So some bacterial diseases which were in news are one is keratitis. It is nothing but an inflammation caused to eye. It eventually leads to blindness. And one interesting fact is that it is caused both by bacteria and fungi. So please note that. Tuberculosis. It is a bacterial disease and it affects lungs mainly. Gonorrhea. It is also called the clap. It is a bacterial disease and it is mainly a sexually transmitted disease. It is an infective disease which causes blindness. India has now declared trachoma free. India has now declared free from trachoma. So it is very important for prelims. Typhoid. Typhoid is caused mainly due to consumption of contaminated food and water through Salmonella typhi bacteria. Some important viral disease which is seen in news are, one is swine flu. It is a respiratory disease which is mainly caused in pigs. And it is caused by type A influenza virus. The another one is Casanur forest disease or monkey fever. It is seen in cashew plantations in Goa. It is mainly transmitted from tick bites and it is a viral disease. Now we have covered nature of some of the important disease which is seen in news. So please go through it and ensure 2 marks for your prelims. Thank you.